Good morning to everyone. My name is Joel Ocasio-Marcano. I'm Interim Deputy Director for the Procurement Division for the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program and Mitigation Program. In this pre-proposal meeting, we're going to explain the process for the CDBG-DRMIT-RFP-2022-05, request for proposals for website development and maintenance services. I would like to introduce the Puerto Rico Department of Housing personnel. Along with me is Juan Rodriguez Hernandez, technical specialist, and Saul Falcon Ortiz, also technical specialist from our procurement division. Also, we have Fiorella Grioni McNamara, Director of Communications, and Sigfredo Rivera Cruz, Deputy Director of Communications for the CDBG-DR and MIT programs. And we have Maria del Carmen Figueroa, Director of Federal Compliance and Subrecipient Management. Any questions submitted in this meeting will be answered in writing and will be published in an addendum. Any information provided in this meeting does not change the terms and conditions established in the request for proposals instructions. This meeting is being recorded and will be available in our CDBG YouTube channel. All procurement processes shall be conducted in accordance with the terms and conditions established in the procurement manual for the CDBG-DR program to guarantee full and open competition and fair treatment of all persons or entities involved in each procurement process. The procurement manual is available at our website and is incorporated by reference and made an integral part of this request for proposal. Now, we'll have a presentation from the user from the communication, Fiorella.
Hi, good morning. First of all, Joel, can you confirm that you are seeing the presentation?
Yes.
Perfect. First of all, thank you so much. Thank you all of you that are tuning in right now about this request for proposals. For us, it's truly important to share a bit of what we think is the important aspects of what we're looking on the website. We have right now, actually, we have a great website that we have designed all over this past more than 3 years. We already have all the information that is required, and we have built this besides, along with all of the group of the CDBG-DR team. And now we're looking for proposers that work with the CDBG-DR team and MIT. As explained by Joel, this will be a broader aspect of the website that will be including the mitigation funds and the other allocations that we have under DR. This is very important because this makes our tasks even more complex, as the website as it currently is very complex and profound. So now we're looking to add another layers of information, so it gets a bit more complicated and more diversified, right? So what we have to achieve with this broader website that we are now looking for proposers. So I will go with the presentation specifically for the scope of services of this request for proposals for the website development and maintenance services of the Puerto Rico Department of Housing. The PRDOH, as I was explaining, is looking for this process, seeks to select one proponent in accordance with the federal requirements that regulate the execution of the CDBG-DR and MIT funds, maintains a public website for an initial period of 3 years, ensuring accuracy, timeliness, and compliance with all the tasks that pertain to said contract. Therefore, we encourage you to careful analysis the requirements that we have included in the scope of services in the documents of the RFP package. Therefore, we want to first of all, understand that this is a broader aspect of the scope of services that you will have to visualize point by point. This is a brief presentation of what we on the communications team are actually looking for, besides of all the details that are in the tasks and deliverables of the scope of services documents. To point a few, or to point the most important ones, the scope of services and the purpose of this RFP is to select one or more proposers to design, to implement, and maintain an effective, informative, and current and easy to navigate website within the context of CDBG-DR and CDBG-MIT. As I was explaining, we already have a very diverse and complex website for DR, for disaster recovery. Now we have to add another layer of information for mitigation that we already have. It's going to be more complex as we start launching the next facade of mitigation programs. So besides the CDBG-DR, CDBG-MIT, or more in detail, we have to have the details of the action plan relating to these programs currently approved to be by the HUD, by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The current website is accessible through our link that you can find and exactly on this presentation. This URL shall be maintained for the future development of the new website under the scope of services. The current website may be selected the proposer to obtain a better context of the needs of PRDOH for the new development under the scope of services. The proposers must be prepared for the transition web hosting, that is very important, from the existing vendor, and complete migration to the proposer's hosting site should be required. Proposers should also be provided quality assurance reports to validate to PRDOH that any such transition has been completed accurately and appropriately. Regarding the staffing, the PRDOH recognized that successfully lead the development and maintenance of the website all of this past 3 years. For the programs, there must be a skillful staff that we already have been developing that with a very experienced vendor. The proposer or the proposers shall have or will secure at his own expense all personnel required in performing the services under the website development and maintenance services contract. PRDOH expects the selected proposer to provide competent and fully qualified staff to perform the scope of services under the contract. The PRDOH reserves the right to request or remove any of the staff that is not performing to the standard. The proposer should provide detailed information about the experience, capacity, and qualifications of the proposer principals, project managers, key personnel, and staff to be assigned, including degrees, certification, licenses, and years of relevant experience. The proposers shall specifically identify people currently employed by the proposer who will serve as key staff. These key staff, as you can see on the screen, are mainly these for a specific personnel that we're looking for. A project manager that will be the facing of the client, for the user, in this case for us, for PRDOH, and we'll have to have the daily basis with the team, with the communications team. We have included website designers, website developers, database administrators, and any other personnel that you think it's key in order to deliver, to comply with the deliverables of the scope of services. We're looking for mainly basic tasks. Some services will be required from the proposers, as the CDBG-DR website is comprehensive and ever-changing. This is very important. The CDBG-DR website not only updates as the Federal Register specifies once or twice a month, it's actually updated, I think, a lot of times each day. We have we are a very active client that wants and needs to share and to publish documents in a daily basis, sometimes more than once or twice a day, and make changes as the program is ever changing. As the CDBG-DR website is comprehensive and ever changing, its development will be divided by PRDOH in 2 stages. So for us, it's important to have task 1, as I was explaining before, it will be the transition of the current website to this new platform. Task 2, or to specify task 1, the transition will be a phase that will consist in a possible transition of the existing website and related asset to the proposer. Proposer must be willing, if required, to work with an existing vendor to develop a transition plan to move to the website, to this new website of the proposer hosting environment, including but not limited to the website content, files, databases, associated assets, and all configurations necessary to maintain the website availability as it is today. Task 2, CDBG-MIT website development. That is another key part of the aspect that we're looking for, is the second to add another layer of content. This phase will consist of the website design and development of additional website functionality for the mitigation grant. In order to comply with all the requirements and objectives set forth below, during this task, the selected proposer and the PRDOH will hold meetings to agree upon final content and design to be implemented for the new website. Ongoing tasks that will already be, as we say, ongoing and ever-changing, is the website maintenance. This task will consist of general maintenance of the website as we have currently. Website maintenance in this context includes providing the PRDOH technical supports in order to support the troubleshoots issues found in the website function, as well as in development of the new and updated content for the website outside that which has been described in the scope of work. On the other hand, some of the deliverables for these tasks are an overall plan for the website development, including general sitemap of the contents planned to be included in the new website. Also, final designs for layout, art, and functionality for each page to be included on the new website. Prepare and give access to a test environment for PRDOH staff. Provide user training sessions to PRDOH staff to teach the use of the features of the new website, and complete the website redesign and its functionalities. General requirements of the scope of services. It's to finalize a bit of the session that we have specifying here on this presentation. Proposers should return to the entire and complete proposal submission package and carefully follow the format and instructions as specified in the document. The format and the instructions are very important for us. The proposal shall be written quite detailed to permit the PRDOH to conduct a meaningful evaluation of the qualifications. However, overly elaborated responses are not requested or desired. This is a slide that contains the details of a bit of the daily aspects and updates that we're looking for this proposer. It is important to emphasize that the following key points, specifically, we are looking for, as I told you before in this presentation, a monthly ongoing updates and publishing information constantly. Website development, maintenance and administration, website hosting services, business continuity and disaster recovery plans and procedures. Within the 15 days from execution, the web hosting transition plan and risk management plan. Within the 30 days, website redesign initial draft mockup with website redesign mitigation launch plan, and within the 60 days, execution of web hosting services from existing vendor. Thank you all, and to wrap up, I will add that we, as I told you at the beginning, we are very excited for everyone to take in some time today to just see a little bit more of what is this RFP. For us, it's very important that the message, besides what the document entails of the scope of services, for us is key that the proposers understand that we're looking for this step forward, right? The steps. Additional steps that we're looking for. We have a very complex website as we have it now. What we want is to look even further to see where are the spaces that the website can be improved even more than now it is, to improve functionalities, to make a better visualization of the data. As I explained, as you will see on the website, we have a very, very complex and profound website with a lot of sections, with a lot of dense information that is required by HUD. But what we're looking for is even extend with this new phase that will be the platform of CDBG-MIT and programs that will launch in this next year and the next couple of months. We're looking to integrate this information in a level that will be easy and user-friendly for the users, for the citizens that we're looking that we're looking and they're going to look for the information. So this is basically a roundup of what we're looking for. Thank you so much.
Good morning to all. I will go now to the RFP documents acquisition. The RFP documents are available for download at the CDBG website as presented on screen. Important dates for this RFP are the following. Submission of questions and requests for clarification on or before June 2022 at 4 p.m. Responses to questions and requests for clarifications, June 27, 2022. Proposals due date, electronic submission only, from July 11, 2022 at 9 a.m. up to on or before July 13, 2022 at 4 p.m. Submissions of inquiries and addenda. Responses to all proposers' questions will be answered by addenda and will be posted on the CDBG-DR website. All documents related to this acquisition process, including the addendas issued by the Puerto Rico Department of Housing, are and will be available for download at the CDBG-DR website. All proposers are responsible to monitor the CDBG-DR website for any issue addenda in this RFP. Proposal electronic submission. Proposals will only be accepted electronically. Proposals submitted after the prescribed deadline will not be allowed. The Department of Housing will neither require nor accept physical proposal submissions. If a proposal is submitted on paper and electronically, only the electronic submission will be considered for evaluation. Proposers will receive access to submit proposals after completing the registration process through the CDBG-DR website. Once the scheduled submission period begins, a link will enable access to the registration form. Please complete all required fields in the form. Proposal must be submitted within the closing date and time schedule. Access to upload the proposals will begin 3 business days before the scheduled date and time. Now, I will introduce my coworker, Saul Joaquin Falcón Ortiz.
Thank you, Juan. The evaluation committee will evaluate responsive proposal according to the following criteria listed in order of importance. First, professional qualification and experience of the proposer to successfully perform the service required in this RFP, as evidenced by the successful implementation of similar programs in large complex public organizations by preference state government and municipalities. Second, professional qualification and specialized experience of the proposed key personnel as evidenced by relevant experience to the role proposed. Quality of the proposed approach and its relevance to the service described in this RFP, including implementation schedule and understanding of the Department of Housing's goals. capacity of the key personnel, and the ability to commit adequate time to effectively perform the services in the role assigned within the required time frame. Financial stability of the proposer and its capacity to effectively perform the services. All proposers are first-tier subcontractor must be registered in the System for Award Management, better known as SAM, at the time of the proposal submission or initiate the registration process right after the proposal submission. For more information, please visit the SAM website. There is no fee to create, renew, or update your registration. Awards will only be issued to entities that are cleared and not ineligible for award of contract due to suspensions, debarment, or HOT imposed limited denial of participation. Now we have a presentation from the Director of Federal Compliance, Maria del Carmen. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Saul. Let me just start sharing my screen right here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the space to present compliance and labor standards requirements. This presentation is prepared in English. However, should anyone need this presentation in Spanish, you can request using the protocols for this RFP. I am representing the Department of Housing Federal Compliance team led by Maria del Carmen Figueroa. Today, we will discuss as part of our agenda an overview of compliance roles and responsibilities. We will also cover some tools that are available online. We will also talk about documenting efforts, taking advantage of training that's made available, and reporting requirements, as well as frequently asked questions. In this presentation, we will be discussing Section 3 training, hiring, and contracting opportunities, minority and women-owned business participation, and fair housing and equal opportunity. Contractors or subrecipients using CDBG-DR or CDBG-MIT funding have certain roles and responsibilities. These include assigning staff who will attend the day-to-day implementation of federal compliance requirements, attending trainings and workshops, using tools and templates, executing the activities, and completing documentation that's required. You can also participate in Department of Housing sponsored technical assistance sessions. You must complete quarterly reporting and comply with the reporting requirements. The procurement package contains language that offers contractors the ability to seek bonus points. Please remember to use the references and the templates that are made available and that we will be discussing in this presentation. Proposers seeking Section 3 bonus points should provide their self-certifications and sufficient evidence for how they qualify as a Section 3 business. The Department of Housing offers a template on their website. Proposers who are seeking MBE or WBE bonus points should provide a copy of their MWBE certification to provide evidence of this status. The certificates provided should show the dates and indicate that they are currently active. The procurement package contains sections that speak to the applicability and the requirements for MWBE. Within those sections, you will find helpful links to online resources that are made available, such as the policy guide. Procurement packages also contain language for Section 3 under 24 CFR 75. Although for this particular procurement, the contractor awarded will not need to comply with Section 3. However, you may find the information useful if you are seeking to prove Section 3 status to earn potential bonus points. Let's talk about Section 3. Section 3 is a federal requirement from the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968. This requirement states that we should provide to the greatest extent feasible job training, employment, contracting, and other economic opportunities generated by this HUD financial assistance to be directed to low and very low income persons and businesses. The Department of Housing makes available a Section 3 policy guide on their website, both in English and in Spanish. Contractors must read and implement activities as applicable and necessary. They also are responsible for their subcontractors assuring that benchmarks are met. For Section 3 projects, 24 CFR 75 has established the following benchmarks. 25% of the total labor hours for a project should be work hours of Section 3 workers. And from that 25%, 5% of the total labor hours should be work hours of targeted Section 3 workers. Let's talk about the definition of a Section 3 business. A Section 3 business refers to a business concern meeting at least one of the following criteria, which is documented within the last 6 months. The business is at least 51% owned and controlled by low or very low income persons. It could also be a business that has at least 51% ownership and controlled by a public housing resident or residents who currently live in Section 8 assisted housing. It could also be a business that has over 75% of the labor hours performed for that business over the prior 3-month period by Section 3 workers. In this slide, we're going to look at the definition of a Section 3 worker. A Section 3 worker can be any worker who fits or, when hired within the last 5 years, fit at least one of the following categories. The worker's income for the previous or annualized calendar year is below the income limit established by HUD. It could also be a worker who is employed by a Section 3 business concern. Or the worker is a youth build participant. Now let's talk about what a targeted Section 3 worker is. A Section 3 targeted worker for community development financial assistance projects is a person who is employed by a Section 3 business. It could also be a person who currently fits or when hired fit at least one of the following categories as documented within the past 5 years. Someone living within the service area or the neighborhood of the project as defined in 24 CFR 75.5 or a youth build participant. The neighborhood or service area for a targeted Section 3 worker is that in which you can find at least 5,000 persons within a 1-mile radius of the project. If there are less than 5,000 persons within that 1-mile radius, you can expand that radius until you have 5,000 persons around the Section 3 covered project site. Each year, HUD releases new income limits. These income limits typically come out around April. The latest income limits for 2022 are made available on the slide. The Department of Housing has created various forms for helping maintain compliance. There is a Section 3 plan that can be used by contractors or subrecipients. There are also Section 3 self-certification forms. And finally, there is a form to help you document your efforts. Let's take a closer look at your Section 3 plan. This document helps you identify new hiring needs, subcontracting needs. It helps you plan your outreach efforts and assists your coordinators in identifying the day-to-day activities. It helps you define compliant procedures, and it helps you understand your reporting requirements. You can use the link on the slide to visit the website and download a Section 3 plan template. In this slide, we want to focus on the Section 3 self-certification forms. These useful tools help you uncover if workers or subcontracting businesses meet the income thresholds required. HUD offers also a business registry. This registry allows you to register yourself as a Section 3 business. The registry also has a tool that helps serve folks looking for Section 3 business databases. We will now turn our attention to minority and women-owned business compliance. There are various regulations that call for the inclusion of minorities and women business enterprises. 2 CFR 200.321, as well as Executive Orders 11625, 12138, and 12432 establish the participation of MWBE firms, which seek to ensure that when possible, contracts and other economic opportunities funded in whole or in part with federal housing and community development assistance are directed to minority business enterprises and women business enterprises. The Department of Housing has established an MWBE policy guide. This is available on the website in both English and Spanish. You can access those documents using the link on the slide. Let's look at what a minority business enterprise is. An MBE is defined as a business which is at least 51% owned, operated, and controlled on a daily basis by one or more American citizens of the following ethnic minority and/or gender and/or military veteran classification. Women business enterprises, or WBEs, are businesses that are at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more women. The owners must be U.S. citizens or legal resident aliens whose business formation and principal place of business are here in the U.S. or its territories, and whose management and daily operation is controlled by women. The MWBE policy guide will identify that there are goals which apply to professional services, purchasing supplies, and construction contracting. There is a total of 20% minimum participation goal. This 20% is comprised of 10% for women-owned businesses and 10% for minority-owned businesses. Contractors are expected to perform good faith efforts for contracting, subcontracting, and purchasing opportunities of $10,000 or more during the life of the contract. The Department of Housing has also created various forms for helping maintain compliance with MWBE. One of those is the MWBE Utilization Plan. This document template allows contractors or subrecipients to identify how they plan on being in compliance with these contracting goals. There is also a waiver form. This document allows contractors or subrecipients to identify if they meet the requirements to waive their goals for MWBE. Let's look at the MWBE Utilization Plan. This tool helps you compile data for your subcontracting. It helps you identify what needs you may have. It helps hold discussions on creating supplier and contractor listings, and it provides awareness of meeting the goal for the contract and tracking. You can use the link on the slide to go to the website and download the plan template. Let's review how you should complete your MWBE Utilization Plan. The Department of Housing Utilization Plan template can be used throughout the life cycle of your contract. Completing the plan is pretty easy. You should read the general instructions in row 3 and complete sections A, B, and F from the document. Complete the information requested in the yellow cells. When we talk about certified minority or women-owned businesses, we are referring to those who have filed applications with federal entities such as SBA and others that you see here on the slide. Businesses who are certified can provide proof of completing an application process to be officially recognized as a certified minority or women-owned business. If you are registered as an MWBE, you should provide your valid certificate or other evidence in response to this RFP. In this section, we will be discussing how to complete your efforts and quarterly reporting. In order for you to report your efforts, the Department of Housing provides a tool. This tool helps you document and identify how often you are seeking interactions with Section 3 businesses and MWBE businesses. The quarterly reporting form allows for you to share and report your data with the Department of Housing. This allows the agency to fulfill oversight responsibilities and monitor the progress throughout the year. The Department of Housing's quarterly reporting form allows for the user to capture multiple compliance areas all in one Excel form. Section 3 data is collected. MWBE data is collected as well. FHEO information is also documented within the report. And finally, for those who have construction projects, there is a report for Davis-Bacon Unfound Workers Efforts Reporting. Awarded contractors will be responsible for reporting 4 times a year, on April 5th, July 5th, October 5th, and January 5th. This ensures that you are meeting benchmarks and documenting your efforts. The quarterly reporting template is also available on the Department of Housing website. Let's briefly discuss FHEO. Your RFP package will also contain a model contract which outlines fair housing and equal opportunity areas of compliance. Contractors are responsible for ensuring compliance with federal civil rights and fair housing through their contractors, subcontractors, and so forth, ensuring that all necessary efforts are being made. The Fair Housing Act and Sections 109 and 504 prohibit discrimination against the following protected classes of people: race, color, national origin, religion, sex, age, familial status, disability, gender identity, and sexual orientation. The Fair Housing Act is part of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. There are many executive orders, laws, and statutes that govern the non-discrimination of protected classes to ensure equal opportunity for individuals in accessing federally funded programs. Equal opportunity is afforded to protected classes through a number of these federal laws and executive orders. The Department of Housing has published policy documents attending FHEO as well as Language Access Plan. These policies must be implemented by contractors and subrecipients. They are publicly available online in both English and Spanish. You are encouraged to click on the links and access the resources available. As a recipient of HUD financial assistance, the Department of Housing must ensure that all programs affirmatively further access to fair housing and that the programs provide equal opportunity for participation and employment. Reasonable accommodations are changes made to policies, practices, services, and structures or modifications to afford equal opportunity to individuals with disabilities. The costs associated with providing reasonable accommodations and modifications are to be incurred by programs receiving federal funding. HUD contemplates these additional costs as necessary to ensure that the programs and activities it funds do not discriminate against people with disabilities. The slide contains a link for you to access the reasonable accommodation page on the Department of Housing website. Limited English proficiency refers to a person's limited ability to read, write, speak, or understand English. Due to Puerto Rico's high Spanish-speaking population, all entities and contractors using the CDBG-DR funding must seek to ensure that both a person's limited ability to read, write, speak, or understand English or Spanish will not place them at a disadvantage in the participation of programs. Let's briefly discuss some common, frequently asked questions. Can a business be both Section 3 and MWBE? The answer is yes. A business or a contractor can be both because these compliance areas are actually separate. Section 3 identifies the level of incomes to determine the status. MWBE uses race and gender information to qualify a business. If I am not planning on subcontracting, do I still need to complete documents? The answer is yes. You should still submit your MWBE utilization plan, the documentation of efforts template, and your quarterly reports. If Section 3 doesn't apply to my contract, do I still have to complete the quarterly report? The answer is yes. you will have to complete the MWBE portion of the report and the portion of the report that attends to FHEO. If I'm either an MBE or WBE, do I fulfill the total goals? You may have safe harbor for one of the goals for MWBE participation of 10%, but you will still have an additional 10% goal to show good faith efforts for any subcontracting or purchasing you perform with the CDBG-DR and CDBG-MIT funding. What happens if I don't fulfill the goals before the end of my contract? All awarded contractors should perform and document their efforts. The Department of Housing has developed templates discussed in this presentation that help you complete the exercise. You can submit a waiver before the end of your contract for approval. This waiver request should be submitted with the efforts and justification as appropriate. Thank you for attending today's training. We hope you found the material helpful. Please remember to direct all your questions through the established protocols for this procurement. Thank you to the procurement team for allowing us to present this material. I will stop sharing the presentation so you can continue with the session. Procurement team, I'm handing over the presentation to you now.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you for everyone attending this meeting. That will be everything for today. Remember to review the important dates published in the request for proposal. And that's all for this meeting. So thank you for attending. Good day.